All right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our latest BCBA exam practice series, where we're going through another set of questions together and breaking them down. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Please like, subscribe, and share. Check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass your exam, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. You successfully reduced a child's disruptive behavior through the use of different strategies, including a token economy. As you start to fade out the token economy, the disruptive behavior starts to reemerge gradually. What will be the best option to mitigate the return of the disruptive behavior now and in the future? A couple different things going on. First, what is the question asking? Well, it wants to know, how do we mitigate or prevent or slow down the return of the disruptive behavior now and in the future? So we have to stop two things. We want the behavior to stop now, obviously, but we also want to prevent the same thing from occurring in the future. So what do we know so far? Well, we know we did initially reduce that behavior through different strategies, including a token economy. When you faded the token economy, though, the disruptive behavior starts to reemerge gradually. Now, that could happen for a variety of reasons. One being ratio strain. If ratio strain is occurring, that means the response effort is too high. You may have faded it out too quickly. Not enough reinforcement is being delivered. So if we want to stop the disruptive behavior now, and then again in the future, what should we do? A, revert the token economy to when it was first introduced. Well, we don't want to go all the way back in time because we were successful. The token economy did work. The issue seems to be how quickly we faded it, or as we were fading out the token economy. So going all the way back to the beginning is kind of an overreaction. B, introduce a punishment procedure to complement the current treatment package. Well, we want to hold off on punishment right now, right? Because we've been successful thus far with just different interventions, including a token economy. And it seems the only thing we've changed is fading out the token economy. So let's address that first. C, I'll select alternative behaviors to reinforce and thin the schedule more gradually. Sure. One, if we don't want it to happen in the future, we need alternative behaviors. And two, what we've changed is fading out the economy. So we might have to thin that schedule more gradually. We have to slow down that fading process. And then D, conduct a new functional behavior assessment to evaluate why this may be occurring. It's a very parsimonious approach here. What have we changed? Well, we're fading out the token economy. So let's address that first. And then if that doesn't work, we can move on to other ideas. Remember to be parsimonious. With 3 seconds left in the game, the Eagles and Ravens game is tied at 23-23. The Eagles send out the field goal kicker to try and win the game at the last second. If the kicker makes the field goal, the Eagles win, but if the kicker misses, the Ravens win. What group contingency does this resemble? So remember, for our group contingencies, we have 3 different types or primary types: independent, interdependent, and dependent. With an independent, each member of the group is responsible for themselves. With a dependent, the whole group is responsible for the hero or a small sample. And with an interdependent, everybody in the group is responsible for everybody else. So what contingency fits here? We know the Eagles and Ravens are tied at 23-23. The field goal kicker goes out to win the game. If the kicker makes the field goal, the team wins. If the kicker misses, the team loses. So the whole team is reliant on the hero. They're reliant on the kicker. So which one represents the hero procedure? Well, that's going to be the dependent group contingency. Again, independent, everybody in the group is responsible for themselves. Interdependent, everybody in the group is responsible for the rest of the group. In this case, the whole group is reliant on the one person, which is the kicker. They are dependent on the kicker. Lisa has noticed a sudden upwards trend in the number of clients she sees that refuse to eat healthy foods. Lisa is a behavior analyst who wants what is best for her clients, but she is not comfortable giving out advice on feeding and eating to stakeholders. What steps can Lisa take to build competence? All right, so we have a competence question and a continuing education question, renewing competence and building your competence as an analyst. Because as an analyst, when you first start, right, your expertise may be in, let's say, autism of a certain age. But as you grow in your career, you're going to have to expand that because you're going to encounter a lot of different clients with a lot of different needs. So in this case, Lisa is seeing a lot of clients who refuse to eat healthy foods. Now, Lisa is a behavior analyst. She's just not comfortable with feeding and eating. Is that an excuse for Lisa to just not learn about this situation? Well, no. If this is continuing to happen, and if it's in some way related to whatever her clients have going on, Lisa needs to at least somewhat educate herself on this area. She's dealing with it all the time. So, what can Lisa do to build competence? A, Lisa can seek out continuing education classes that focus on this topic. Absolutely. Don't waste your continuing education. Don't just do it because you have to. Pick real topics and real ideas. Spend the time and make it a valuable thing. There are a lot of good continuing education out there. B, Lisa should search for a professional in the feeding space and reach out to them. Sure, contact somebody else, collaborate, learn from others, right? You're going to find working with humans that there's a lot of crossover between all of our clients. A lot of clients have the same issues that other clients have. And there are professionals that work on these things. So reach out and collaborate. C, Lisa should read academic studies on feeding and eating. She can, right? Get comfortable occasionally seeking out some academic journals or studies. So really, Lisa can do all three of these things to build competence. Notice when we do these questions, we're attacking the question first, and then we're reading every single answer choice. We always read all answer choices so we can be sure we're picking the best answer. Skinner's pigeon is cooing and sitting on its perch. After 6 minutes of cooing, Skinner gives the pigeon a pellet. Then, 9 minutes later, another pellet is delivered. Finally, after another 6 minutes, the final pellet is delivered. What reinforcement schedule is represented here? You have to know basic schedules as well as compound schedules, right? And this is a very, very basic schedule. It's based on one time, right? 6 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minutes. So time is interval or ratio. Well, time is an interval schedule. So we know it's going to be an interval schedule. 2, is it fixed or is it variable? Fixed being it doesn't change. Well, 6 minutes gets reinforcement, then 9, then 6 again. So it is changing. It's not fixed. It's variable. So we know it's a variable schedule. So let's look at A, fixed ratio 3. We know it's not fixed. We know it's not ratio. That's out. B, fixed interval. It is interval, but it's not fixed. That's out. So now we have C and D, 2 variable interval questions. And remember, the variable questions just means on an average. So let's find the average here. Let's find the average amount of time to receive reinforcement. We're going to take 6 plus 9 plus 6, divide by 3. That's going to give us 7. Our answer here is going to be a variable interval 7 schedule. A university professor who is teaching an introduction to behavior analysis course to a group of master's students asks the students to consider their own personal views on behavior and then discuss how their views may influence their behavior philosophy. This exercise is most closely aligned with what? On our task list, it asks you to distinguish between 4 different areas of behavior. We have behaviorism, we have the experimental analysis of behavior, we have applied behavior analysis, and we have the professional practice guided by behavior analysis. Now, behaviorism has to do with theory and philosophy, the overarching idea of behavior as a science and as a study, right? It's this big, weighty theoretical approach to behavior. Experimental analysis of behavior is much more practical when we're actually in a controlled environment, oftentimes with animals, doing research, doing experiments. Applied behavior analysis takes a lot of these behavioral research findings and then applies them to humans in real settings. Professional practice guided by behavior analysis is the implementation of research. So think of experimental analysis of behavior as research in a lab, typically and controlled with animals. Think of applied behavior analysis as research in the field with humans. Think of professional practice guided by behavior analysis as service delivery and implementation. And then behaviorism as this philosophy. So if you have a university professor who's teaching this course and he wants the students to consider their own personal views and discuss their views and their philosophy in this theoretical sense, well, he's really talking about behaviorism. He's not discussing research in a lab or doing research experiments with humans or implementing services and interventions. He's just discussing ideas. He's discussing philosophy. So the exercise most closely aligned with behaviorism. Thank you for watching. Please check out behavioranalyststudy.com for all of our study materials. Like, subscribe, and share. When you pass, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. See you soon.